Welcome back to the news at 10. The Minister of Women Affairs, Zainab Meena, has advised women and civil society groups to intensify their lobby for stiffer sanctions against rape and other forms of violence against women. Rape is the most popular gender-based violence and abuse in Nigeria, for which appropriate sanctions in the criminal justice system seem to be lacking. Women leaders say that until perpetrators are duly punished, women will continue to suffer.
Rape, a rapidly growing form of violence, has become topical along with crises such as insurgency. A high number of rape cases across Nigeria is still unreported, mainly due to stigmatization, a situation that has continued to further shield the perpetrators. The Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Zainab Meena, said an overwhelming number of rape cases are currently before the ministry, requiring urgent legal attention.
Rape cases are rampant and my ministry is overwhelmed with series of such cases requiring urgent legal attention. I urge all to rise against these acts and hereby denounce these acts of violence and a host of similar cases, and therefore respectfully calling all number of our society to ensure that the perpetrators of these violence acts are promptly reported to appropriate authorities.
Besides efforts to prosecute reported cases is the fact that sanctions for rape and other forms of violence against women are not yet appropriate for the crimes committed. A bill for violence against women to remedy that is still pending before the National Assembly.
The reason why many people can get away with assaulting women, raping women, beating children, raping children is because nothing happens when they do. So the first thing is that we have a society where the legal structure and the judiciary don't work the way they should. The Nigerian police force does not work the way it should. We have lots of cases of the police force, members of the police force, interviewing children in very inappropriate matters. These are children who have been brought, who have been molested, and they suggest that these children liked it, or they suggest that these children brought it upon themselves. So the first thing is that there's impunity. When somebody beats up a woman, a wife, a sister, or even a workmate, what happens to the person? Nothing.
Some other lapses that have been identified as reasons for rising cases of rape and other forms of violence against women, besides the stigma or lack of information on the crime and available support and shelter for the victims of violent crimes. These are issues that still require much effort towards the relief from violence that women deserve. Omelogo Nadi, Channels Television News.
Now, for the next 16 days, the world will be standing against violence against women and girls. Well, this is to mark the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and that's on the 25th of November every year. Our correspondent, Loretta Chogo, takes a look at the implication of violence against women and its effect on the society.
The United Nations says violence against women is a human rights violation. Violence against women is a consequence of discrimination against women. Violence against women impacts on and impedes progress. Violence against women and girls is not inevitable, but prevention is possible and essential. It also says violence against women continues to be a global pandemic. In Nigeria, protests have greeted cases like rape, torture, domestic violence, child marriage, and the worst of all, the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls by the Boko Haram sect, which is on the front burner. Some facts and figures represented by the United Nations indicate that 35% of women and girls globally experience some form of physical and or sexual violence in their lifetime. It is estimated also that up to 30 million girls under the age of 15 are at risk of female genital mutilation, and more than 130 million girls and women have undergone the procedure worldwide. The cost of violence against women and girls is said could result in generational hatred. And this is the case of 3 women badly tortured by their male counterparts who accused them of stealing pepper worth 50 naira. The women were stripped and blended pepper poured into their private parts. The youngest of them all wishes the law catches up with the men and severe judgment handed down on them.
The person that kills somebody, they used to kill them.
This year, the United Nations campaign, Unite to End Violence Against Women, tagged Orange Your Neighborhood, moves to local streets, shops and businesses, spreading the message. The date, 25th November, was chosen to commemorate the three Mirabal sisters who were political activists from the Dominican Republic. They were brutally assassinated in 1960 during the Rafael Trujillo dictatorship reign. Listen to the words of the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon.
We must change the everyday experience of women and girls. And we must change discrimination and oppression. We must put a stop to the mindset and traditions that encourage, ignore, and tolerate violence. Together, we must end this global disgrace.
With the color choice for the UN Orange Rally, the world can only look up to a brighter future without violence. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News. Nobel Laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has appealed to the Federal Ministry of Health to ensure the prompt release of 400 million naira appropriated in the 2011 budget for the establishment of a cancer center in Nigeria. The literary icon told journalists in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, that he was diagnosed with cancer in 2013 and is now free of the disease, and has taken up the challenge of massive campaign for early detection and treatment. Professor Soyinka also urged the government to speed up the establishment of cancer control centers across Nigeria as a way of controlling the increasing rate of the disease. Now, 3 amateur golfers will represent Nigeria at next year's BMW Golf Cup International World Final in Sydney, Australia, courtesy of foremost automobile company Costarus Group Limited. The BMW Golf Tournament, the largest for amateur golfers in Nigeria, was held at the IBB Golf and Country Club Golf Course in Abuja. Our correspondent Paul Wachuku reports.
Over 75 golfers from the IBB Golf and Country Club took part in this year's edition of the BMW Golf Tournament, sponsored by the official importer and distributor of BMW cars in Nigeria, Costarus Motors. For 2 days, the golfers were at their best swings as they battled it out to claim the 3 available spots that will determine Nigeria's representatives at the BMW Golf Cup International World Final, taking place in Sydney, Australia in March next year.
The best 3 will have to participate in the BMW World Tournament, which will be sponsored solely by Costarus and BMW AG of Germany, all expense paid, flight ticket, their business class, hotel accommodation, feeding, visa fee, whatever is involved, we shall be responsible.
The tournament provided an opportunity for the golfers to wine and dine as they celebrated the winners in the ladies category and the men's category 1 and 2.
The major objective for us as a brand is to let the people, the members of the club that resonate with the brand, to enjoy the tournament.
BMW cars are known for the maximum luxury they offer to people. And indeed, it was an opportunity for our members who are often very busy and don't have most time to check the showrooms, for you to bring your product to them right on the golf course. And they use this opportunity to test drive these cars, and I'm sure most of them will pick up these cars over time.
It's not the first time that I will win tournaments and represent Nigeria. It's happened several times in the past, and we understand then that there's an added responsibility to not just conform to the rules of golf, but also to carry the banner of the country.
Pleased with the BMW brand, because Charis Motors, the sponsors of the tournament, expect that these golfers will continue to find pleasure in the exquisiteness and strength of the BMW brand. From Abuja, Paul Nwachukwu reporting for Channels Television News.
First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's Monetary Policy Committee has raised its benchmark interest rates by 100 basis points to 13% in a move to stem losses to the nation's foreign reserves. The Central Bank of Nigeria also lowered the Nairo's target band against the dollar to 168 from 155 to ease the pressure on the local currency and tackle high dollar demand. Defending the move after a two-day meeting of the committee in Abuja, the CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, said efforts to defend the Naira had led to dwindling foreign reserves and that a more flexible exchange rate is the most viable option.
Committee noted with concern the continued decline in the contribution of the oil sector to growth and urged political authorities for the speedy passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill so as to halt the trend. All the 11 members voted to increase the cash reserve requirement on private sector deposits from 15% to 20% with immediate effect.
The equities market yielded profits by 0.71% after a session that saw major blue chip stocks beating 11 equities in price. Well, Temple Ashaju has the full update of the stock market.
Hello again and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Equities regains the losses recorded yesterday as bargain hunting resumed at the Nigerian stock market. The key indicators appreciated by 0.71% as the all-share index finished at 34,115.84 with the market capitalization settling at 11.26 trillion naira. The market breadth was quite impressive with 34 gainers to 11 decliners. Now blue chip stock Total topped the gainers chart with 10 naira 47 kobo as Nestle and Forte Oil came next. International breweries, UAC Properties and Dangote Flour were the market laggards for Tuesday. Market volume rose owing to interest in the shares of Zenith Bank, Resort Savings and Loans and FBNH. At the close of transactions, the market realized 357.77 million shares in 4,666 deals, and market value was put at 4.36 billion naira. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I'm Temple Ashaju.
Thank you, Temple. That's it on Business News. On the news at 10, Ijoma returns shortly.
Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, updates from the happenings at the UEFA Champions League across Europe. That will be on sports. Do join us again.